Hello and welcome to the Glass and Art Studio Rainbow Coaster tutorial. My name's Katie Hinder, glass artist and tutor at the studio. In this pack you get 2 squares of clear glass, each 10 by 10 centimetres, and you also get 7 different rainbow coloured frits which you can see around your screen. Now before we make, it's important to clean the glass. It's also important to remember that we are working with glass and the edges are sharp. As you can see, there's a good amount of cloth between my hand and the glass edge. We clean the glass with vinegar or glass cleaner. This helps to remove the grease from the manufacturing process and make sure that we have nice shiny pieces after firing. If you don't clean the glass, you can get something called devitification, which is when the top layer crystallises and looks cloudy and dull. We want our pieces to be nice and shiny, so a bit of a wipe over is important. If you are under 16, get an adult to help you with this. The next step is to check which side is smooth and which is rough on the glass. Because we're making a coaster, we want to minimise the amount of air trapped between the 2 sheets of glass, so we're going to put the smooth sides together. By sandwiching the smooth sides, you're going to get less air pockets, which will create less bubbles after firing. We want a nice smooth surface for our drinks to sit on. I've put a little bit of glue in each corner. The glue is a PVA mix with water, 8 parts PVA to 2 parts water. This makes it a little bit easier to use and also allows it to dry a bit quicker. Now I've put my first stripe of the PVA dilution there, and I'm now going to add some frits. The first colour is red transparent. It's also a striker, which means it changes colour during the firing process. This is going to become even redder. For the rainbow design, you want to follow a nice amount of frit as you work your way down and get a fairly even coverage. If you do want to mix your colours, that's absolutely fine. The design is completely up to you. The frits are crushed pieces of sheet glass. They're crushed by machine, which makes them easy and safe to handle with your hands. Although they're pretty, they're definitely not edible, so don't eat them. But you can layer them up safely. This is now orange opal. It's an opaque glass, so it will sit really nicely next to the red transparent. The transparent will allow light through, whereas the opaque won't. I like to use a mixture of opaque and transparent because I think it plays around with the light nicely and gives different colour. The glass we're using is Bullseye glass and it's made in the US. It's their fusible range, which means it's all compatible with each other. In the fusing world, you can't mix the kinds of glass that you use. It's important to stay with one manufacturer. If you do mix it, you can get cracks in your glass, which is really unfortunate when you spent a lot of time on it. So you tend to pick one manufacturer and stay with them. I chose Bullseye because of the bright colours. This is opaque yellow. So I'm just working my way down. And I think I've sped the video up a little bit now as we work through the stripes. By doing one stripe of glue at a time, it means that the different colours don't stick as you're applying them. You could cover the whole of the coaster with glue, but it would mean that you'd probably get a fairly mixed colour effect, which is absolutely fine if that's what you're after. This colour is spring green transparent. It's a really nice fresh colour. We're using the medium grades. The frits start from powder and go all the way up to extra coarse. By using medium, it means we'll get a nice even layer on the coaster and we shouldn't have too many areas which are different thicknesses leading to a bumpy surface. This is turquoise blue transparent. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the colours separate. another strip of glue, and we're going to move on to deep royal blue, which is a really nice strong colour. If you wanted to, you could draw a guide for underneath your coaster and try and follow those lines. I found that the thickness of my glue spreader is about right for the thickness of the stripes. And there we go with deep royal purple, the last colour, also a transparent. Now you may find at this point that you've got the odd bit of frit there. I can see a bit of purple or blue in the yellow. So a pair of tweezers can come in handy. You obviously don't have to do this, and if you're happy to have different colours in different places, that's absolutely fine. And there we go. And here's the finished piece after firing. As you can see, there are some lovely bright colours in there, and everything's nice and relatively flat, ready for our drinks. Thanks very much.